Right. Who's read the brief?
I am. I've read some of it.
Natalie, have you read the brief? Have you read the brief? Have you read the brief?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ed. Yes, I have.
You read the brief as well? So I don't have to go through it.
I haven't. No, I haven't. Sorry, sir.
I did read it. It was research.
But thank you for putting it up.
Yeah, yeah.
This is what it said.
You did it.
Things you can't read.
Yeah, so we're gonna ride out to Delta Lakes. It's only gonna take like 10-15 minutes. When we get there, we're probably just gonna go straight into the first depot, which is one lap of the circuit with a continuous ramp. I was kind of thinking that we'll just ride it as a group and just gradually get faster, and if you get dropped off, then that's part of the ramp. Like, it'll just be like 2 or 3 of us left when we come round to the finish line. The lap itself is like around about 4.5 minutes long, so it'll be a fair old ramp, but we'll try and pace it so that it's only like the last minute that's hard. And then we'll do 1 lap regrouping, and then we're going to do 5 laps, which is kind of the main body of the ride, where we'll ride as a group at 12 mile an hour, but we could well go slower. But then we'll fire riders off the front of the group every 60 seconds. It'll probably be less than actually, because there's loads of us. I thought there was only going to be like 4, so it's probably only going to be like 20 seconds, 25 seconds. So we'll seed it on ability, and then I'm not going to get involved, so I'm just going to ride. I'll be the last person to go, but I'll just ride steady. But the idea is that you're obviously trying to catch the person in front, but keep going until you've caught the very first person that started. So ideally you'd catch them before the 5 laps is up. But if you're the first person that started, then when the first person catches you, you 2 just ride together, and then when the next person catches that front group, you 3 ride together, and so on and so on and so on.
Is the front group sticking to a
You're not
particular
dropping.
pace? Like, are we?
Well, the very first person to go off is going to go as hard as they can anyway. Or not as hard as they can, but they're going to go hard.
For 20 minutes. For 5 laps.
It's going to be give or take 15-20 minutes, yeah. That's the main body. We missed on something there.
So you're not going to have a very fun time now.
I'm just saying, I'm not doing
Put it out there.
So the second group that are chasing, are they going at a specific speed?
It's individual.
When
Individual.
Second group was chasing.
You know, you're breaking off to
Full gas.
every 20 seconds.
Yeah, the blob is only going to be doing like 10 or 12 mile an hour.
Right, that's what I was asking.
Yeah. And then we'll probably have to have a little bit of a stop to regain our breath after that one for like 5 minutes. And then we're going to do 2 laps of the circuit. We'll do 10-second surges as a group every half lap, but we can get to that when we've done that main body.
And where's the start and the stop?
Start and stop is the speed camera thing.
The speed camera thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like.
I want to know about traffic. Sorry.
Well, there's flipping lace the clock.
I know that. People be heading to. Just
But don't go in front. Don't go into a car. Yeah.
try and avoid the car. Try and avoid the car. Okay.
Can I just ask, is anybody planning to come back on the club ride?
Well, yeah, it ends here at 9:30, so.
Okay, alright. 50-50. Just so I don't miss nobody, because I'm quite keen.
Let's go. First off, I have to apologise for the clicking on my bike. I feel like the bottom bracket has finally given in on me after all these miles. But we're out on the Delta Lake circuit, which is a short kind of 4-minute circuit around the beautiful coastline of Llanelli. And it's really early morning, so we've got a chance to get in this structured ride, which I've been running with Bynea Cycling Club for over a year now, if you're new to this channel. And what we've basically been doing this morning is kind of introducing people to drill work, and in particular this ride, because it sets the tone for a lot of other structure rides, but this one is more of a kind come and have a go, you know, see what kind of structured training is like, and it's more like drill work. So today we've done one lap, again, which is like 4 or 5 minutes of ramped effort. So I basically went to the front and just set it off at a standard pace and then ramped it up, so people were kind of flailing at the end, but that gives everybody the ramped effort effect. And then because there's like 14 of us, which is like the most we've ever had on a group ride, and I know it's a good day, so that contributes to it, but almost like an Australian pursuit scenario. I'm not sure if you know about that, but it's where, say, you seed riders and rider number 1 goes off, they tend to be like the lesser ability rider, and then like the fastest rider goes off last, and that rider tries to catch the front rider, and so on and so on. So we've kind of set them off in like 20 second, 25 second gaps, which is quite big gaps, like considering there's 14 of us. Daryl's got an awful lot of work to do, but you know, I'm sure he can catch that front pair. But the idea is, it's kind of teaching you the pace and effort. It's teaching you how to, you know, manage your effort as well when you've got other people around you, and this kind of comes back to like our SR, structured ride philosophy, where what these rides are basically for is for people to generally do, you know, kind of spin classes or indoor training a lot, and they might be next to other people, they might be on Zwift, so they're racing against other people, but it kind of brings that outdoors, which I'm not really seeing from a lot of other clubs. So I've tried to implement it here as well as I possibly can, but just checking on my shoulders if I can see anybody. Nobody yet. I'm not getting involved in this one, so I'm just like plodding along at like 20k an hour to see if that front group will catch me. That front group is just catching up now. So I've done about a lap and a half or 2 laps. And it's taken them that long to catch me. So it's a fairly good effort. There's a fair few of them in that group, maybe half of them, so there's still 6 of them yet to be confirmed. My ball bracket. It's just making a hell of a noise. Fair play to this group. They're keeping the speed up. It's 35k an hour here. So anyone that's going to catch is going to have to be going pretty quick. There's a big gap though. Can't see anyone closing the gap. This is it, they're going so fast now. But it's a good workout for everybody. That's the thing, like the weaker riders who set off first, they are, you know, now working together as a group to show just how much of a difference. You know, it doesn't matter how weak the riders are, you know, if they can all pull really hard at the front each time, in a group of 6 or 7, which this is, that leaves 6 riders out the back trying to get on their own. It just goes to show it's good for them. Although there is a rider in the back of that trying to bridge. I've lost count of the number of laps we've done, so I'm no use to them whatsoever. Where is it? Trying to work out who it is. So we're doing 40k an hour now. It's slightly downhill this section. Before you start commenting like, how are you riding one-handed talking to a camera at 40k an hour in the chain gang? Well, practice makes perfect, isn't it? Daryl's made it. Daryl was seeded number 12 on number 13, so he was the last man off, and he's made it. There he's in black, and considering the pace we were going, he's obviously emptied the tank.
That was good, eh?
Solid block, isn't it? Guys, come in. I can't hear you all the way back here.
Dan in ours.
Yeah, well, I should have ridden at the front to start with, to be honest, but... so, when what was eventually then the front group caught me...
What's good?
Do any of you wanna?
New year, new nets.
No, anyone?
Did I say no? What was he?
Hey,
Carry on.
I'm shaking my head at his things rather than... when that front group caught me, I knew it was going to be very difficult to... Fair play to Dara, like, catching on. But the speed you were doing was, like, pretty nuts. Like, you would... Especially coming down there, you were doing, like, 28 mile an hour at some point. And I was thinking, for somebody to come across, even two riders trying to come across would be very difficult. So, I was thinking going around, like, what would be the best way to try and bridge to that front group as quickly as possible. With I don't know if some of you have done it on Command and Velodrome a few times. It's a similar drill, but usually the distance is shorter. The whistle, someone goes, whistle. It's usually only like 10 seconds or something. Yeah. But because this effort was longer as well, it's harder to pace. If you were like in the top kind of 6 riders going off, the best case scenario would be to go really deep for like 2 or 3 minutes. Because initially you would probably catch a good handful of riders and then probably catch the front group. If you're in the last part, it's almost even harder, but then being fitter, it almost balances it out. So you wouldn't go as hard for so long. You'd go hard for maybe 1 or 2 minutes and then dial it back to like a threshold effort, because your threshold in effect is faster speed than somebody who's in the first 6. But of course, once that first 6 collide and form a group, it's almost impossible to bridge across to it, because you'll have to then go even deeper to get across to it yourself. So, but that is the workout in effect. Like, that is the benefit that each and every one of you get. So some of you that didn't catch a group, you still got a huge effort out of it, because you were still trying to catch a group, thinking that, you know, it's only around the next corner.
Can I just say, do you know what something like that does? It allows different abilities to do a ride together.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah, I know.
Isn't it?
Yeah, everyone is no different then.
And I
all
think
of a workout.
because it was so short, so say you guys fused after 2.5 laps, you know in your head, I've only got another 2.5 laps to do this chain gang, and then I'm at the finish, because it was only a 5 lap capacity anyway. So yeah, the last effort now is just going to be 2 laps. We're going to roll out, and then every half lap we're going to be doing a surge as a group. It won't be a sprint, it's literally just changing down 1 gear, staying in the saddle and just pressing a bit harder for 10 seconds, and then we bring it back in. And we won't be going hard for the bits in between, we'll just be surging fairly hard for those 10 seconds. And we'll do that every half lap, so once over there, once here, and then once in the same place, and once in the same place, and then back up, and then back to the club.